Skye King here, and I'm here with Anne Lossing, and we're in Guatemala, and I had seen some information on the internet while I was looking for and researching some information about Tikal and any kind of ceremony that was happening in December. And what happened is I came upon a newsletter and an article that was in a magazine from Anna, and it really intrigued me. It really allowed me to know more about the area and about the project that she's been doing here since what year?
Since about 1995.
Okay, so 1995 you began the journey to educate and really inform the community here about health.
Yes, we determined that the major needs of the people in the jungle are health, education, and opportunity. And the idea that we had was to be able to support the people to become the guardians of the rainforest, because these rainforests are not going to be saved by people from Oslo or Washington or Ottawa or someplace like that. The rainforests here will be saved by the people who live here in the rainforests. So since those were their three major necessities, we began first with the medical clinic, and as soon as we were able, we started a library with a computer center, and at about the same time we moved into this project of the Women's Center as well.
Okay, and how has it been since implementing these different structures into the community? How well has it been received by the individuals who live here?
Well, quite well. First of all, to have a free clinic is something that almost everybody has need of at one point or another. The library computer center, the kids here are craving education. They crave to learn things. There's seldom a time comes when we have a volunteer that all the kids in the neighborhoods don't show up for whatever class the volunteer is teaching. They really love it. They thrive on it. As a matter of fact, we're also running a small program of Becca's.
Translate into English, right?
Yeah, right.
What does that mean in English? I forget. I only know it in Spanish.
Exactly.
I've had that problem too.
Yeah.
It's like, tienda? Store?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Scholarships.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of young women here in the village who had to quit school at some point before grade 6.
Okay.
Because of the logistics of getting to a school beyond grade 6, as well as the problem of paying for it and paying for their transportation and all that kind of thing. To say nothing for the fact that fathers would not permit young girls to go to other villages to go to school. So many of the young women in the village don't have any more than a grade 6 education, but they want more than a grade 6 education. So I started a couple of years ago with a small donation that I had, supplying the money for one young girl to, she had already put herself through grade 7, 8, and 9, but she couldn't afford the fees for grade 10, 11, and 12, which is the area that you specialize here in Guatemala.
Okay.
So she wanted to become an accountant. She wanted to take the course in accounting. And so she came to me and we talked about it, and I've been supporting her ever since. And she graduates this year from her accounting course, so we're all very happy about that.
That's excellent.
So in the meantime, we've had a couple of other girls that have come online as well, and for this next year I have like 6 more applications for young women who, for one reason or another, have not been able to continue past grade 6 schooling, who want to start grade 7, 8, and 9.
Okay, so the word's getting around that they can actually attain their goals.
Exactly.
And that there actually is an opportunity for them to get there.
Exactly.
Because I guess they wouldn't understand that through the older generation of how to even begin doing that, because I guess it's just the repetitive cycle of this is what we do.
Yes.
That's how it is.
Exactly. Yes.
And now having this, you come in and offering all these incredible educational tools, and you'll see on the site here too, there's some pictures of the medical center, of the women's center, and of the educational center for the children, and there's a wonderful park outside that was donated too by a group in Alberta.
Yes.
Okay. And one thing that really intrigues me about what you're creating here is the people who come and volunteer. I mean, there's people all over the world that are looking for volunteer opportunities, and they usually end up going with something that's, you know, that costs them money to do it, that brings them to a country where it's pretty well comforted, let's say,
Mhm.
and doesn't really allow them fully to engage in the culture around them except what they're doing. And what I see here is that you're really set in the community itself, and that the community around you is being allowed into that space to learn, educate, and inform. And do you find anybody who has approached you in learning more about maybe the medical system, or learning about, the core elements about how to return to their basic roots of learning of nature?
Well, the people here are very involved with nature to start with. They're quite in touch with the jungles, and they don't like the jungles disappearing any more than environmentalists in our country like them disappearing. Unfortunately, it's a question of need with the people here. It's not a question of what they want. They have to live, and they live from the jungles. Part of our motivation has been to shift the value of the trees of the jungle, so that the trees are not valued for their corpses as they are now, but they're valued as a standing, living thing. And in order to do that, they have to be seen to give a living. They have to be seen to have some value financially, so that people can live from the trees. So we have begun a program to find the value of the seeds of the trees of the jungle, because if the seeds have a value, then the people will stop cutting the trees down, so that they can continue to grow the seeds and use them for food purposes, essential oil purposes, for medical purposes. There's a lot of things the seeds of the trees of the jungle can be used for.